Here's a gaming hot take for you guys. The best fighting game of all time is none of the big three. It's also not Marvel vs. Capcom. It's also not Guilty Gear. It's none of the Dragon Ball games either. The actual best fighting game of all time is Def Jam Fight for New York. That's right, I said it. Def Jam Fight for New York was a fighting game from the early 2000s, and it starred some of the most popular hip-hop artists at the time. Fat Joe, Method Man, Redman, Busta Rhymes, and Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg, by the way, was the final villain, and he clearly was having a fun time with this game. What do you mean I can play as Sean Paul and kick Busta Rhymes' ass while listening to both of their songs in the background? This game would have sold on that concept alone, but they were like, no, we're actually going to give you guys a proper fighting game experience here. So the actual combat mechanics were really fun and surprisingly deep. When you create a character, you choose from 1 out of 5 base styles, and that is wrestling, submission, street fighting, kickboxing, and martial arts. Each fighting style is already distinct from one another, but then as you level up, you get to adopt at least 2 more styles, and that's when your moveset becomes even more unique. I just spent so much time creating new characters, playing around with different fighting styles and movesets. It was addicting. But then Def Jam Fight for New York went above and beyond. It had an actual good story mode. The story is quite simple. You play as a no-name dude and you're helping out this character named D-Mob. D-Mob, by the way, was the final villain in the previous Def Jam game, Def Jam Vendetta, but in here, he's a good guy, and you're trying to help him win back New York from Crow. The story itself is actually really simple, but the storytelling is incredibly well done, and the voice actors, like the actual hip-hop artists, they're actually really good. Like, I was looking for a bad performance here, and there really wasn't any. I do believe this game holds up really well, and it's such a shame that it's not available for current consoles, and the last game in the franchise of Def Jam is Def Jam Icon, one of the worst fighting games I've ever played. Unfortunately, after Icon, the franchise has essentially died, but I do hope that someday we can bring this back and bring in some of the, more recent artists. This may actually be a good outlet for some of those hip-hop artists so they can settle some beefs. Realistically, no, but I think it would still be a cool idea. Have you guys ever played Def Jam Fight for New York? What do you think of it? Do you want it to make a comeback? Let me know down in the comments.